So I'm back to do another modern dating and dealing with demons part two. I got a pretty nice response from the first one, so I want to go ahead and make a second one while I got a little bit of time. And I got a few notes, so at least I will have a little bit of direction in the format on where I want to go with this. So let's just get right into it. Now, I want to just be honest and go ahead and get something out of the way. This person I'm talking about, I love this person, and I just, like it wasn't no type of wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of stuff. You know, when you are in a relationship with someone and y'all deal with each other for a significant period of time, it's only natural to develop some feelings and some real feelings, especially when children become involved and family becomes involved. You know people, a lot of people in her family. She knows a lot of people in your family, and so a lot of times, you know, there's gonna be some real bonding that takes place, and that's just part of what comes with it. And so, oftentimes, when it comes to dealing with like demonic forces and spirits, and they are within somebody, it's not a whole lot of people that you can tell it to, right? Especially in the modern dating scene. Now, the reason why I want to call it the modern dating scene because I want to juxtapose it against the traditional dating scene. In the traditional dating scene, there were times where if you were romantically involved with someone, they had a mother and a father, and you may have had a mother and a father, and I'm talking about specifically in the black community, and a lot of times they may have had a church they went through to, and you may have had a church that you went to. Okay, and so what happens is that that's why I don't want to get to the conversation right now. Why parents are important, and even if a person doesn't have biological parents, even if they have adopted parents or mentors, it's very important because you have what's called checks and balances. That's why if I was ever to think about getting involved in any type of relationship, it would have to be with a woman that had um, some parents uh, in their life right now, and also like a church home. And the reason why is, take me for example. Even though my mother's not on this earth with me right now, and even though my father's not here with me right now, uh, I have a whole lot of uncles that I'm close to, and I have a whole lot of aunties that I'm close to, and I'm really, really close with my grandmother. I love my grandmother. And so if I was to like do something crazy to a woman that I was dealing with, they could go and tell her. They can go and tell my grandma. They can go tell one of my uncles. They can go tell one of my aunties because I have like I have a family name and I have a reputation and I have honor. Hey, what's going on, Jazid? Uh, and so um, the reason why it's good to deal with somebody that's in some type of familial network is that there's checks and balances. Now, in today's modern dating scene, you may be dealing with a woman that maybe don't have a father, maybe she don't have a close relationship with her mother, and so if she acts real crazy, what are you gonna do about it? Who are you gonna go tell? And you might be like, well, everybody's grown. Why do you have to go tell somebody? Well, it's not just about necessarily telling somebody, and I know I'm kind of going off topic right now, but this is relevant. It's about the person that you're dealing with not being the not being above reproach. If you dealing with a person and you're dating them and they say is the final say and you can't go over their head and y'all get in a dispute about something and she's well, this is my way, I don't care what nobody says, and there's nobody that you can go and tell about it, and basically you're gonna have what's called a whole lot of unresolved issues. And a whole lot of unresolved issues filling up the bucket eventually is going to not be good. It's going to overflow and pretty much be the end of the relationship because it's going to become, at a level, it's going to become toxic. And so it's very important to have checks and balances. And it's vice versa. Take, for instance, that I say, you know what? uh, I don't care what you say. I believe when people in our relationship, they should eat beans every day, right? Something crazy. And she says, sweetheart, I don't think it's good you should eat beans every day. If you won't listen to me, let's go talk to your father about it. Let's go talk to your auntie, and that way, uh, you have a respectable uh, third party involved and kind of help smooth things over. All right, now let's get back on topic. So, these are just some of the notes that I've taken and things that I dealt with personally with dating and dealing with modern demons. All right, and this is kind of rough, and the thing is, I'm sure that I've had some type of trauma, inflicted on me because of this stuff, but I got to get it out, even though I don't want to, and even though I'm kind of ashamed, but you just got to get it out there, can't be scared. So, one of the things when I was dealing with this particular person is that when we would be together, and sometimes she would talk to me, and she would like maybe call herself talking sexy to me, right? And she would say something like, "Hey, baby, I want to lick you up and down." All right, I hope that's kind of PG-13, but instead of saying it in a voice that was audible that I could hear it, it would be in a whisper, and they would say it in my ear, and and it would be so low and in such a whisper that I really couldn't even hear what she's saying. And so, a lot of this stuff, I'm gonna be honest, it's not gonna make sense, but I just want to just tell you some of the things to kind of look out for. So she would whisper things in my ear that, in my opinion, if she's trying to be sexy, you know, and trying to arouse me, why would you say something to me that I cannot even hear, and you don't even care if I hear it or not? Okay, and that's kind of that was a little bit disturbing to me, speaking in these whispers. All right, and I didn't really want to talk. I really didn't want to get into this, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into it because we're here right now. So another thing, if dealing with a person that could be possibly have some demonic forces over them, is that a sexual encounter may not always be a sexual encounter. It may not. It may be a sexual encounter to the person that's unaware, but to the person that's under demonic influences, it could be not a sexual encounter. It could be a ritual. And what I mean by that is that um, if y'all together and you may hear some things, some you can hear something being spoken, but you can't hear exactly what's being spoken, like some words, under her breath. She could be very well put saying a spell, and this is not funny, okay? And another thing is that y'all gotta bear with me. Um, you know, um, well, let me just go ahead and put this out here. So, and the reason why I have to talk about this, and I don't want to get you know, all biblical, but I can get biblical because I'm a believer in God and I stand 10 toes down on it. But there's some things that's not talked about. I don't know if people are scared, they don't want to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it because I'm real with it, right? I'm gonna stand 10 toes down, and I'm ready for Goliath because I think it's that time. So let me tell you something that I not only do I have a problem with it in my adult age, but I've always had a problem with it for some reason, and that is speaking in tongues. And I know I'm about to get some pushback, but let's get into it. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because there would be times in these encounters to where we don't even have to say speaking in tongues. This person was speaking in a language that was that was not of this earth. Okay, uh, speaking in a language that's not of this earth. All right, there's no country. There's no um, geographic region on this earth that I've heard this language speaking in. And the reason why um, it was very concerning is because when she would get aroused and start speaking in this language, it was always this same language, and the language she would speak it so much. I tried to write it off, but she would speak this language so much to where I would kind of, I'm not gonna say I would understand it, but some of the words she would use some of the same words all the time. Okay, and I don't want to get I don't want to get too much further than it right now. Okay, but you know, as far as from a sexual standpoint, but I do want to talk about speaking in tongues. Now, in a lot of churches today, especially in the churches I grew up in, as a Pentecostal church, I've also uh, been to Baptist churches and all kind of black Christian holiness churches, and where they put a whole lot of emphasis on speaking tongues. A lot of them they get up, and I'm not trying to make fun or anything. And that's fine. If a person is so full of spirit and they want to speak in tongues, hey, more power to them. But what a lot of people don't talk about is that demons speak in tongues. So why does everybody get excited about speaking in tongues when this is the same language that demons speak with? Especially, especially if you're speaking in tongues and there's no one there to interpret those tongues. Who benefits from it is the question. What's the purpose of speaking in a language that nobody else can understand? And now let's let's entertain. Let's go down a logical path. The angels, they can interpret it. The spirit can interpret it. Okay, but you're in public around a whole bunch of other people, right? And so why you want to display it to the other people that you're around? Is that the purpose of speaking in tongues? I just never got that. But I do want to make it clear that demons speak in tongues, and I'm not saying that everybody speaks in tongues as demons or demonic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the emphasis it's, as far as speaking in tongues being the litmus test for somebody being full of the Spirit, that's um, that's not factual, in my opinion. All right, let's go a little bit further and talk about another type of demonic stuff that when you're dealing with a person that you might have to deal with. Um, time shift arrangements. Time shift arrangements. So, oftentimes, when a a person is hosting a demonic force, that demonic force is not active all the time. Okay, so let's take for instance that there's 24 hours in a day, and in 24 hours in a day, let's say uh, a person is up. I'm just making up a number. Say for instance, a person is up for 12 of those hours. Okay, in those 12 hours that a person is up, maybe maybe four, maybe one third of those hours that that person is up, that they are under the control of demons. Okay, this is very well possible, and the only time a demonic forces or demons is going to be control over a host for any extended significant periods of time is if they have an infestation, and they maybe the demonic parasites, they don't even have no need of the person anymore, and they you know plan on just destroying them and moving on. Okay, that's a possibility, but oftentimes there's a time shift arrangement, and in today's uh, modern language, you hear what they call demon time. Demon time. What's demon time? In fact, I want to see. I want to see what they call demon time is. I want to see what Google says demon time is, and I'm gonna tell you my definition of demon time. And because it's got to be something to it, because what is it? Why they're talking about it? Demon time. All right, demon time. On the line social media behavior characterized by explicit, provocative, or mischievous content, often after dark. Hmm. A slang phrase referring to the hours when people's internet activities become especially risque or shameless. So, whether or not, you believe in demons and spirits, uh, it's actually a term in today's modern zeitgeist. Uh, before I go into the urban definition, I want to look at what these other people have to say about it. Demon time, demon time. Uh, okay, another, I guess, topic along the same term, subject matter. It says the witching hour of the internet, and odd to demon time. When the clock ventures into the treacherous depths of after midnight and social media takes a wicked turn toward the scandalous, the raucous, and the downright eyebrow raising, Behold, you've entered demon time. What exactly does this mean? Demon time metaphorically refers to an evening period, typically late at night. Take note of that. Not uh, not just at night, but typically late at night, where social media interactions and behaviors shift from conventional conversations to a more provocative, risque, salacious, scandalous uh, realm, uh, which is characterized by this predominantly devilish phrase. All right, so um, I'm here to tell you that demon time is a thing, and it is late at night. And in my particular situation, I'm going to tell you what my specific, the demon time of the person I dealt with was. Um, it would be about it. I would say between 10 p.m. and 11:30 is when it would start. And when it would start, it would be like this person would just start arguing and make an argument out of no reason, wanting to fight, wanting to fuss, uh, just just evil, just for no reason, And the thing is, the reason why a person like me can't deal with demon time is because I'm a man, and a lot of times at night, it's important for me to go to bed and get some sleep so I can get up in the morning and go to work. But unfortunately, with 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 people that's on demon time, and the thing is, the person that I was dealing with, she had to go to work too. But I don't know how that energy arrangement works out, how they would be able to argue and fight and fuss and cause all this drama and then be able to get up and go to work the next day. I don't understand how this would work. Me, I couldn't. A lot of times the next morning it would be time to go to work and I would still be thinking about, you know, all the bad names that she called me, all the cussing, all the fighting, and it would really interfere with me having a productive day at work the next day. And the thing is, this person, when they woke up in the morning, they would no longer even be on demon time. And actually, this person wouldn't even remember some of the things that she even did or even said, and and I actually believed it. And I believed it would be the truth because I could tell by the whole different demeanor. And so what I'm telling you is that when the demons is in control, they are in full control. And the human conscious takes a back seat. So you know, there could be actual whole periods of time that the person that's actually being controlled by the demonic force, they might not remember. This could be the truth. And so that's a whole nother avenue. So so they got time shifts. They like to come out in certain periods of time. And so since I've told you about demon time, I also want to talk to you about God time, right? And what God time is, and I don't have any proof of this, but this is just from my opinion and my personal experiences. God time to me would be, we've established that demon time is like late at night, probably between 10 o'clock and maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning at the latest. But to me, God time is about 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. to about 10 a.m. And of course, all time is God time, okay, for those who believe in God. But the reason why I say 5 to 10 early in the morning as the sun is coming up, because if you read in the book of Genesis, um, you will hear that that's when Adam would talk to God. That would be the time where they would meet, after everything happened the previous day and before the day begun. Um, Early in the morning, it would talk about the cool of the day, the cool of the day, in the mist when the dew is still on the grass. Early in the morning, before the day starts, uh, that's God time. Okay, all right. Let's see. It's getting 25. I gotta end this real quick. I don't want this video to be too long. So, a person might ask themselves, why would a person, why would a person allow themselves to be inhabited by a demon? What would be the possible benefits of this? Well, I don't personally know, but I will speculate. So, people that uh, are inhabited by demons, you got to understand it's like a parasite, and so it's a symbiotic relationship. And so basically, the agreement, whether it's on a conscious level or a subconscious level, is that I'm gonna do something for you, you're gonna do something for me, and for the demon, uh, what they're getting is a body, right, to use for a certain period of time throughout the day. That's the host. And so as the human being, um, like I said, whether it's on a conscious level or a subconscious level, I don't know if they get extra strength. I don't know if they get uh, um, knowledge uh, of the supernatural realm, or special cunning abilities. There's something in it for them. You know, uh, the ability to manipulate energies and steal energy from other people. I don't know what it is, but I know it's something. Because if the human being wasn't getting a benefit out of hosting, being a host of the demonic forces, then you got to ask yourself why would they do it? And so I haven't really delved too much deep into that specific avenue. As why a person would allow it, but I will tell you this. I will tell you this, and that just came to me, right? You know, just now. It just came to me. I want to thank God for that. I'm going to tell you why. For power, for strength. And so we know about witchcraft, right? And it's interesting that, and we know that witchcraft is a type of demonology, right? And and why do why do we call it witchcraft, right? Why do we call witchcraft witchcraft? And when we think of witches, we think mostly of females. Yes. I think the male witch is called a warlock. Well, in my opinion, like I said, I don't. This is just my opinion. Don't quote me on this. Is that the reason why witchcraft became a thing is to gain access to strength and power, I guess, to balance the scales. I guess there was a certain time period, I don't know specifically what time period it was in, early in time, to where, uh, some of the original demons came to the woman and was like, don't you want to be as strong as this man, physically as strong as this man, right? You down here right now. Don't you want to have the strength of him or the power? Don't you want to be smart than him? And so, since you don't have the physical strength naturally, what I'm going to do is, uh, by occult means, I'm going to uh, give you all the secrets on how to gain power in a supernatural way. Okay, and maybe this is where the origins of witchcraft may have came from, right? Legitimately. So, like I said, I don't want to get into that too deep. Um, they take it, they feed off energy, right? And they only can take so much of the host's energy. So primarily, a lot of the purpose will be trying to take energy from other people, i.e., their significant other or family members, and that's what they'll be trying to do. Um, the last thing that I want to talk about, because I want to talk about another thing. I got some different texts, receipts, and I'm gonna have to save it for the part three video. And I want to show you some of the language that they use in their text, and even some of the things they say, because we have to understand is that a person talking and a person speaking a spell, what's the difference? What's the difference? And so that's what I want to talk about in the next video. But what I want to end this video about, the reason why it's important to identify if you could be possibly dealing with like a demon or something, because it can have some detri- detrimental health effects and some things that happen to me. Like you look at me right now, and I like to stay in shape. I like to eat right, and so I'm a I like to be healthy and work out and stuff. I'm probably about maybe 5'9", maybe 200 and 200 and some change, right? But when I was dealing with this particular person, they were draining my energy, and I had lost weight. I had maybe got down to maybe about one 170, 175, 180, and that's 20. It's like a 25-pound difference. And not only that, I just I didn't feel good. I was constantly preoccupied with the relationship instead of being preoccupied with what I'm supposed to be, what my purpose is in life, and what God wants me to do. So uh, that's just a few things I want to talk about. Man, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and stay tuned for part three. Thank you guys for watching. Peace and blessings. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.